Hey,
Hello.
what's up?
I see you dressed up for the occasion. I so
Well, yeah,
appreciate this.
very misleading invitation on your part. I thought we were supposed to go to the gym, get sweaty, and then rush home, and do this.
I
Hey
was
guys, look at you. Good Lord.
well, I had to do some press. I had to do some
Yeah,
press today. This is not
yeah.
normal, Sarah.
This is spin-off, Sarah, is what this is.
Ah, spin-off. Way
Uh,
to segue into the most asked question on
wh- what do we
Twitter.
do? What do we, how we doing this? God, almost 60,000 people. Didn't we just start?
Yeah, we did. We did just start, and it's like, do you see all the flags? People are tuning in from all over the world. It's so exciting.
Uh-huh. Okay. All right. So how should we proceed?
I do have so I have the hashtag open on Twitter. Although, I don't
You see
know
who's
how to
like the
use.
captain of the ship. Sarah will steer it and she knows what we're doing and I just show up.
That's
Okay.
pretty much how our relationship works.
It's on an
Usually
opposite
Jesse
day.
usually Jesse calls me the dramaturg of
Uh-huh.
our episodes. I keep track of everything and then remind him where he's at.
Wait, so what's happening here? Do we love each other. Okay, got it. Okay. Uh,
When was the last time we had a conversation? What were we fighting about? Can you quickly pull up that clip? Sure,
right.
right away, Jesse. I feel like we did that the most though on J-April the movie though. That was the one because we were like,
The first one?
yeah, the first one. You got Jesse.
Do
We
we
have a
do we only
trilogy.
refer to the first one as April the movie?
Yes, it
or
was
are they
J-April the movie, and then J-April the sequel, and then this was J-April the reunion.
have we what have we landed on here?
I don't know. A lot of people wanted J-April Endgame,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I, but I
That seems
also, but I,
appropriate.
but we couldn't really say that before the episode aired.
Right.
So
There's a temptation to use something with the like a trilogy, trident, triceratops, something that,
Trident, yeah,
yeah,
Trident,
with
Triceratops.
like a Aquaman background. I'll work on the poster. I'll send you some specs.
Good.
Um,
I would appreciate that. I think that'd be really good. I can't wait to see
okay.
it.
Um,
Yeah, no, but when we were doing J-April the movie, we had to keep track of where we were because we had like multiple different hair
yeah,
changes. I had to dye my hair like 4 different times. We had to find
me
the
too.
scenes that we were shooting in between scenes that we had shot like 6 years
Right.
prior.
So many
And like,
flashbacks and flash
yeah,
forwards.
that was so fun.
It was good.
When
Little did
people,
we know. Little did we know
little did
the
we know it was part
impact
one
that
of
would
a
have.
3-part epic journey.
Yeah. It's part one of a threesome. Is that not? That's probably not the
What?
right. We'll cut that. There's, you know what I mean.
Should
3
we circle
times.
back to that?
Yeah. Let's hang up and start over. All right. Do we have
Yes, we have
What should we
questions. Okay.
do? Questions?
I
Okay.
I have questions on my iPad.
Mm-hmm.
I took screenshots. It's probably not the most efficient way to do it, but whatever. But I do want to start with questions about literally. I mean, I answered questions in the press day today about spinoff. A lot of people are feeling like this
Yeah.
episode would lead to a spinoff, and lots of questions about would you guys do a spinoff? What would it look like? Do you
Right.
want it? Are they setting us up for it?
Right.
Might be a fun thing to talk about.
Did they mention money at all? Did they?
I know. I was like, could you call business affairs?
Yeah. How
Have
much?
business affairs reach out, and then we'll have a
Cut-
conversation.
Cut a check. Which used to be Sarah's old email address was cut a check at Hotmail.
Cut at
Um,
Hotmail. No, it was
yeah.
at AOL. Don't you remember?
Right, with the disc.
Hmm.
20 hours of free service. Okay, so is that a question?
Yeah. The question is like, what do you see? Where do you see this story going? Like,
Right.
if we could continue to tell this story, what would it look like? What do you think?
I think it really lends itself. I mean, clearly it lends itself to, yeah. I mean, I get spinoff or getting glimpses of it because what they're going. They're the best, and they're interesting. Right? They're not just they're the best because you remember them and you have nostalgia for them. But one of I guess part of my answer is a reflection on why it works, and both of us letting you guys kind of understand. It's as nuanced and interesting and hard to pin down for us as it is for you sometimes. Like when Sarah and I came back, we hadn't worked together in years, hadn't been in the same space in years, and to be able to fall into a groove so easily because of a knowing and a trust and all those wonderful things that we share, it's yeah, when things just feel right and it makes sense. And it's really also nice to be able to do scenes where we get to have full conversations. You know, our show has a lot of people on it, a lot of stories to serve, a lot of characters to serve. So a lot of times it's, you know, it's quick and dirty. We move the story forward and we go, and then you watch other people. But for us to sit and really explore for these 8-page, 9-page, 7-page scenes, a real knowing and a patience and understanding for each other, you know, you guys respond to that, we respond to that. And so, yeah, you would think there's plenty more for us to do. So you love her. You guys are okay with me. We can watch the kid grow up. Going to Boston is like, we're not just going to a place. We're not just, oh, let's go to the beach. We're not just, I shouldn't say beach. Let's go.
No, we're not going to
the headline
We're going to the beach.
the headline for this thing is like, April goes to the beach.
And they're at the beach.
Is that, you know, I think is that like we're going to do something really fucking interesting. What Jackson's journey is really interesting. What April's already been doing off that we haven't really gotten to see, but we got a taste. And I feel like the fans really want to know more about what you've been doing. All that's really rich, and there'd be a lot to do. And Boston would be an interesting place to do it. So I get it. I want to watch that too.
I want to watch it too. I mean, one of the things I was talking about in these interviews today is just that I feel like they're both kind of fully embracing their purpose. Like they're like a calling on their life to go into the world and make a change for the good.
Yeah.
And like she has been in that space for the last few years. Like when she left the hospital 3 years ago, she had this big, massive moment of discovery. This is what I want to do. And she's been living it. And this is the moment when Jackson realizes, I have this incredible opportunity to make real change in the world. And like, I just think about the two of them together coming from the places that both of their hearts are pulling towards serving the community and changing it for the better. And here you are with like head of the foundation with like resources to be able to actually do these things. Like how amazing. I mean, to really kind of dive into medical justice.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be, we haven't seen that yet.
No. And it's a really real thing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll set up a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
You guys just send us some money and we'll do it. We'll act it out ourselves.
We'll go shoot it. We'll go make a little mini movie, and then you guys can see what you think.
I'm eating now.
I really appreciate how serious you are about being professional in this moment. Thank you. As always, par for the course. Okay, I have a question from Kay, who says, "What's your favorite J-April scene?"
You go.
Okay, I have so many. I have so many. I think probably one of my favorites was that like 15-page scene we had in J-April the movie. Took all day to shoot it. Ended with throwing fortune cookies at one another.
Yeah. You
got really sick off of Chinese food because you decided to eat 95 dumplings on the first take.
Yeah, this is called the Justin Chambers lesson.
Yes.
Which is to like when shooting a scene, don't invest too early in committing to eating, as I'm doing now, eating things, because then you have to match it every single time. And when you are really hungry, don't come to set hungry.
You both show up hungry, always. And you're like, oh, dumplings, that looks good.
That impression does represent the intellect at play in those moments.
I want that in my belly.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, but I love that scene. I loved that scene because you never get epic scenes like that on television. You don't get a scene that lasts for an entire act of a show where you get to have a very real, big, long conversation that takes many twists and turns. I remember you took a picture of all the marks on the floor.
Oh yeah, right.
We got to just play, and it was so fun finding our way through the Japril kitchen living area, moving through all of the different emotions. And I also remember shooting that scene like towards the end of the day after we've been because we only shot that scene all day. Towards the end, we were in my coverage for a big heated fight moment, and I like lost the gas. I just was like, and I remember asking you, I'm like, why am I mad? Why am I right about this? Why am I convinced that like my argument is the right one? And you like put your hands on my shoulder. You're like, this is what it is. It's because of this, and this, and I've been a fucking asshole, and that's what you just.
Oh wow.
It was great. It was great because it was just one of those moments. Like we would do that for each other all the time, though. Like, what is this about? Can you help me? And then, but the fact that you were literally playing an argument with me where you had to be convinced of your point of view in order
but could understand yours.
Yes. But then helped me figure out mine so that I could do my
it's so like almost meta for real life in like a real life situation. Argument we've all had, been in relationships, and you're in arguments, and you're in the living room, and you're pacing around, and you're doing some business, and
you lose the thread.
And you lose the thread.
Yeah.
I remember being in an argument with a girlfriend, and we laughed about this like that night and ever since. But being in a real argument, but I had just gotten a new chair at the house. And so I'm arguing, like we're bickering about something, and I think the chair swivels to rise and fall because it's a little lower than I expected when I bought it online or whatever at the store. So I think that I'll spin it to raise it up so I can sit in it while we're talking. So I figured I'm just going to go spin, and sit. But I'm spinning it. It's not going. It doesn't raise. I'm grossly misinformed. So I'm trying to have a very serious argument with somebody, but I'm just spinning and going nowhere. And at a certain point, she's like, what are you doing? And I thought it would raise. Forget it.
Like, I'm raising the chair, damn it.
Right. So to be able to like step out, step in, appreciate a moment of humor, but still let's finish this.
Yes.
Wait, why am I even? I love you. Why am I even upset? Yeah.
Well, because there were also moments in that, like, we did not want our characters to get divorced. We were so sad about it.
Oh, right. Yes.
We were so sad. Remember that divorce scene that we had to do where we just, like, sat there in our chairs and we're like, this is such a sad day. And
having to perform things truly in a real way, but against your will, like against your wishes.
Yes.
It's a pretty wild.
I had to come up with a reason that this wasn't working when I was like, but it can.
Looking to the writers like with pleading eyes. You want to change this? No?
Don't you want this to be a romantic comedy? Can it end that way, please? Yeah.
So those are really good scenes.
That was
Let me
good.
see.
What about your favorite scene?
God. There's so many, and I feel like what keeps coming to me is like sometimes it's like the shorter moments that the characters have had in between. Like, yes, we have these big albatross scenes that are really epic and amazing, but I almost like when the characters were first finding each other and learning how to be, and it was kind of secret. There's even a scene that I think I posted when I took over IG yesterday of, I guess they had just slept together for the first time, and Kepner comes out of, and she still had some tension, I think, with Karev. Before I beat him up.
That scene, I totally forgot about that scene.
And then you come out and she's like, your mom keeps asking me why I'm tired, and you do this blush, like bashful thing and walk away, and then Meredith is giving me shit about it. Like those little, God, they look so young. They feel, there's an innocence to it, right? Before the pregnancy and the marriage and some of the adult things that we come to understand. But that in the innocent moments early on, trying to figure out and argue about whether you might be pregnant. I mean, remember that scene? I pull you into a patient room and like, condoms don't break. You know, like just like, you know, just kind of those like,
what?
stupid
Yeah,
young.
I had this like, what? What are you even saying right now? You're a medical professional. Condoms don't break.
Yeah, I really like that early stuff when we didn't know, where we were confused.
Mhm.
Both, even as actors, we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't have an established foundation to return to.
Yeah.
We're just kind of figuring out how these two people from different walks of life and different belief systems are resisting the inclination to trust their gut.
Mm-hmm.
And like be comfortable with each other, even though, but on paper it doesn't make sense, but I'm supposed to this, and I owe this, that, I owe this to them and my mom and the church and whatever. But we're just this magnetism. Because as an actor, like, it's just something you can, playing the truth of something is like just a real liberating experience.
Yeah, totally. And I also really love that, you know, from the beginning, we had no idea. We had no idea that we were going to wind up together. In fact, some people have posted an interview I did during my first season on the show, first season as a series regular, where they were like, who do you want to wind up with on the show? I'm like, well, I mean, there aren't that many options. I mean, my voice is so high pitched. I'm so young. I'm so stupid. I'm not stupid. I'm just clueless. I don't know. My hair is horrible. But anyway, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I mean, like, I don't really know, because everybody's taken, but I mean, there's really only Jackson, but I can't imagine they're going to want to put the two newbies together. Like, that would be weird. Like, that was what I said in yeah. And then I remember when the writers were trying to figure out, like, who are we going to put April with? And it was like between you and Karev. Like, it was going to be one, but we didn't know which one.
Well, you first were like swooning over Derek, right? Which would just put you in the doghouse. Yeah. As actors, as new actors on an established show, it's like you can think about what your character would want, and you think about what the fans might react to, because you want to be liked, or do you want to, have an impact? So it's a little tricky.
It's so tricky. Oh my gosh, those first couple seasons when everybody detested April Kepner, that was fun.
Kepner was a little much for everybody.
She was a lot. She was challenging. But then she had a really profound evolution. So
she was never boring.
She was never boring, that's for sure.
Okay, new question.
Okay. Well, here's one. It's just like a statement, but I like this. Missy says, not a question, but even though my shipper self would have loved to see a spicy scene, it was really admirable how much Jabril has grown into actually communicating. Look at our babies out here thriving.
That's good.
I actually really love that, because I do think I had a lot of people say, where's the kiss? We're so mad that there was no kiss. Like, why would you do that to us? And I just feel like they've both grown and matured so much in the past, and this episode, with all the different layers that it had, it made sense that they wouldn't be impulsive in this moment. Like, you've just made this giant ask of her. Yeah. Right. And spoken from your heart out of a place of vulnerability and passion and all of those things. It feels like it was too soon, I think, Yeah.
I mean, well, also so much of the beginning of their relationship was impulsive.
Yeah, exactly.
We've done the impulsive thing. We've done the just kind of leap and figure it out and clean up the mess later, or don't. And it's the first time they've had that conversation. Who knows what happens on the second Friday they land in Boston and are, put the kid down.
Eating Chinese food again, and he went and got her a bunch of
like more dumplings. Yeah. But yeah, it is nice to be able to have a mature, patient response and not lean to getting drunk and being impulsive and like that. We've done that. We can do that. But yeah, I think that it was funny. Some people were like, when are you guys gonna kiss already? When are you gonna hook up? But you're already projecting that in your head. Let us do something else.
Yeah, exactly. I like that it leaves something for the imagination. This is a nice one. You might be nice, but you might also not be nice in the response. What did you miss the most about working together?
Um,
I'm waiting for you to say something precious.
well, I lost my my scene interpreter who tell me what's happening. So I had to hire somebody, which was awkward. Um, but you know what? Honestly, it was shit. The truth is, it was. So it's twofold. Me, the person, and for the character that I'm portraying, both. Definitely, there was a gaping hole in being with somebody who really knows them, who doesn't. They're not going to misinterpret them, or they have a shorthand with it. Really knows them, and God, if what we all don't want in life is to be known, is to be which is to say, be understood, to just be considered, to be like, for you to be able to have access to pull. I remember not even just reading it, but when you were actually saying it, when we were doing the scene, when you call him on, because I really believe that, I'm embodying this belief that I should go do this. I've got it. I'm solid. You can't knock me off of my position. And then you're like, yeah, but when have you ever cared about that? When have you ever wanted to do that? When have you literally been running from your family the whole time? And it's like, oh, fuck. All of that is true.
Right.
And not many people have such quick access to that, and not in a way that's trying to hurt me, not in a way that's using it as an insult. There's few things more.
Is I'm holding a mirror up. I'm like holding a mirror up. What?
But a real mirror. A lot of people play with that phrase. A lot of people play with that. But a real one that is there for understanding, not for abuse. Like not to fucking hurt the other person.
The way that a mirror reflects the glory and the things that you might not want to say, like she knows him so well, right? She knows him so well, and so she can speak into, I don't know if that tracks, because look at the whole history, but then she can also stand up and be like, you are an amazing surgeon. You are changing the world. You are brilliant. Like, she's affirming him and also challenging him at the same time. Like the way that I think a really good, beautiful mirror should work,
Right.
You see the beauty, but you also challenge. You challenge and go like, what are you doing right now? Can you take a look? Take a look at what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. There's you can't buy that, you can't replace that, and it takes a long time. It takes not only a long time to develop that knowing between people, but also it takes hurdles, it takes obstacles, it takes conflict, which suck in the moment, but develop an understanding. So the rest, since April left, I would dare say, you look back, it's a lot of just trying to understand himself and be understood by others, and failing and trying it over here and trying this relationship, which is all an uphill battle to be understood, and that's not working, and try this. Okay, what if I don't try anything and just sleep with somebody? That's fun, it's nice, but it's not a deep none of those things are understanding. So that's what I say I missed, and made it so much more compelling to perform and come to work every day.
Yeah, I mean, I echo all of that. I think I remember saying to you after we shot that first scene, like just looking at you and being like, oh, it's so easy. It's just so easy. Like I missed it, I missed that exchange, that the ease with which you and I, as Jesse and Sarah, the people and the actors, are able to communicate so well and support one another. Are you falling asleep right now?
No, not at all. I'm adjusting.
There is something that gets built when you spend 9 years telling stories that have trauma in them and real things that you have to go through, and that you guys, that we've played and that the audience has witnessed, that we can pull from actual moments, not just backstory, but real moments that people have seen, that we have lived. It makes you don't get that. You don't get that kind of communication and story on most shows or films. You just don't have the time to get it. So working with you was so fun, but then also the story was so rich. So that was like delightful.
Yeah, that's great.
Were you surprised that J-April broke the internet again? There's still a trend in some countries.
Uh, I don't know. Were you? I mean, yes, I am surprised. I'm not like from 0 to 100 surprised, but we still got it, and the fans still connect to it, and that's really, it feels nice. Shit, I can admit that it feels really nice for people to, yeah, we were talking about understanding before, to people to really respond and feel like they know these people, and their gut was right, their intuition was right. So I think there's a validation experience with the fans. Like, I fucking knew it. I knew that this was unfinished. I knew that you guys need to be in a room together. And so often for them, they're powerless, and they just have to see what we do, and they can call bullshit on things they don't feel like it's connecting, or that doesn't make sense, or that doesn't track, or that. And for them to, so it feels good for them to be happy for something that is meaningful and that I can understand, as opposed to just something that's kind of frivolous.
Yeah, I agree. I also after we posted that first little video and the behind the scenes thing, and just like, we were sitting on set after we posted that, seeing the response, and we just kept looking at each other like, look at this.
Yeah.
What? It was, so we had a taste of that before the episode aired, for sure. I didn't expect quite the earthquake of it all, but it was super fun. Oh yeah, I mean, so many callbacks in the episode. Throw pillows, Jordan, Samuel. How did it feel to bring up so much of J-April's history?
I'm just thinking about, like, it's there. It was there no matter what. Like, the character remembers it. Saying it out loud as a refresher, I get how that helps everybody to kind of come to the same space and remember and clock all the ingredients that affect the dish. But I already know it, so it didn't. I don't know that it really impacted my experience. But I'm glad that it helped welcome more people into it.
Yeah, I think it also was like a lovely gift for the fans who have, tracked. I talked to one of the interviewers today, said that in preparation for this episode, she literally went through the entire series from the moment we came on and watched every J-April scene, like, just to like refresh.
That'd be interesting. That's a level of research and preparation that I'm just unwilling to do. That's
because I do it for you.
Because I'll just ask you. Yeah, that's really interesting. I was actually talking to a good friend of mine today he's never seen the show, and watched last night and watched some of the scenes from J-April 1 or 2, and it was just interesting because he felt very much like he got a real he didn't feel left out as much. He's obviously haven't seen the show. I'm sure I'm missing things, but Jesus, the chemistry is very clear, and I get a very real understanding, not only in the lines he said, but as in the dialogue, but in the space between the lines, and just the quiet reactions. It was really, really, they were really transfixed by it, which says a lot. This is you miss 300 hours of a show, but you can drop in and just be whooshed into the depth of it.
Yeah, I had a similar reaction to a couple of girlfriends who told me that they aren't people who watch the show, but they watched it last night and they're like, it felt like its own story. I am immediately invested in these two humans because, like, the depth was there and the chemistry was there, like all the things that you just said. But they're like, I didn't actually need to know all of those backstory things, So
a fan is going to cut together all the J-April scenes, all the scenes that affect J-April in one way or another. So those could be scenes that are just about you, or just about Kepner, or just about Avery. Also, like, we don't both have to be in all of them, and they'll edit them all together and weave them all together into an epic. I wonder how long that would be, what the runtime is.
We've given you an assignment.
So get to work.
So
Peru,
internet,
Argentina, Brazil, South Africa.
please get on this immediately. Thank you. Can we all just like appreciate Jesse's brilliance in all of the stuff last night? I just
That's not a question.
I
Nobody's
just need to say it because there are 26,000 people watching, and just a big clap, just like a yay, like a wow. There's one specific question right here about the stuff with your dad that he I mean, that scene with you and your dad on the steps just absolutely destroyed me. It broke my heart. It was so beautiful. But this is the question from Kate. For Jesse, how did you approach Jackson's abandonment issues? What was going through your head when Eric Roberts said, "Not one day has passed that I haven't regretted leaving you. It haunts me in my sleep when I wake in the morning, and I'm truly, truly sorry."
Well, thank you. It is actually, even revisiting it, even thinking about it, even hearing you talk about it, watching it is actually quite emotional and difficult. It's I think that one thing that folks might not appreciate, or not understand, not appreciate, but it's that this shit is hard and it's really emotionally taxing. When my character is feeling pain, I'm feeling pain. Like the body can't always tell the difference. Even I had to do ADR, which is when you go into the booth and have to verbally just redo a scene, redo a moment, redo a word because it was unclear. I'm also a mumbly speaker. So sometimes you have to come in and watch the scene and say, triumph again. You got to say the word again because it wasn't clear. And having to do that for a part of that scene, it's fairly devastating. Like it really was. You become, I am the character, and it hurts, and it's a lot of deep pain and abandonment and confusion and uncertainty and just raging insecurity. That is not a pleasant feeling, and you metabolize that. It's in your body. So, what you saw was real, because I was experiencing it. And what I found interesting in seeing it on screen was that it wasn't even that quote that person asked about. I feel like if I remember correctly, it wasn't even the obvious line of hurt where the dad says, whatever he said, "I miss you. I think about you every day." I don't think it was even that made Jackson explode into not being able to stifle these feelings and desperately trying to shove them back in. It was something like him saying for the one time the right thing, which was like, I didn't send the presents because I didn't have the right to, because I haven't earned that, and something that was actually kind of appropriate for the moment.
Yeah.
For the first time ever in my whole life, like it hurts more that so you can think. So
you're
feel
capable. You're not totally incapable, but you chose not to actually act on your capability.
It doesn't. It's you don't realize how much you're shoving it down and keeping. The dam is holding it back until it just breaks, and when it's breaking, and I'll grab it, and try to put it back in the box, and it was pretty brutal, and you feel safe working with. He's just an incredible actor and an incredibly sweet person, Eric Roberts. So it was it was really difficult, I don't remember what the question was, but that was
I don't know, but you said good stuff. I mean, I echo, not about this, obviously not this scene, but like what you said about things living in your body doesn't know the difference. I mean, I know I've told this story a bunch, but when we played that scene where I had to give birth to Samuel and he died in my arms, I went into premature labor literally the next morning, and my daughter was born a month early, and she was in the NICU for 2 weeks.
Just to be clear, I don't know if people are really appreciating that. Sarah was literally pregnant, very pregnant, third term pregnant, while shooting our birth trauma scenes where her character is going to give birth to a child who's in terrible danger and damaged and not going to live very long at all and be in pain and discomfort, and we're going to have to meet and leave in almost the same moment. And she had experienced that while actually pregnant, and it ostensibly induced a premature labor for her because her body couldn't tell the goddamn difference from that incredible stress and strain. By the way, something that it just a new level of, certainly something as a man I can't understand, but it's something that I feel like a few of our actresses have had to experience around maternal, around mothering and being pregnant and juggling things when your body affects something else. There's another living being that is directly impacted by your blood pressure, by your spirit. That's a hell of a gift you've given to the audience for the sake of storytelling, and we see that it's transformative for people.
Yeah. Thank you. But yeah, that was intense. It was intense. So yeah, and that the like sorrow. I remember when our characters were going through a divorce, and I'd come home and I'd be like really sad after a like particularly sad scene, and Peter would have to look at me and be like, "We're still married.
Yeah.
Everything's okay. Your children are both alive.
Yeah.
I am here."
Oh, poor guy.
Can you please put April away?
Yeah.
She's
Which is
so
hard to
sad
do.
right now.
Just really hard to do.
Yeah.
It's like you need, somehow, another level, people sometimes need therapy of some kind to like compartmentalize it or just process it out.
You gotta like take that drive home and undo it, put on some music, like take those deep breaths before you step back into your real life, because you have like residual stuff in your body. It's just by the way, someone just wrote, does anyone else with OCD really annoyed by Jesse's broken hat strap?
Is it broken or is it just it's broken? Wait, it's broken.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Now I'm definitely gonna keep it. Screw you guys. Hold on a second. Look at this.
Asked that question, but thank you.
Oh, wow.
That made me really happy.
Hold on. My broken hat strap. Buy me a new one. Damn. Okay. See, the stress of playing this goddamn character. My forehead veins are bursting and it's breaking my hat.
That's it. It's your forehead
That's
veins.
what it
There's
is.
strong veins right there. All right. Let's see.
What else? We got a few more minutes here, guys. What else do you want to know? What do you want to know? What do you want to know?
What do you want to know?
Sarah is beautiful. How was the bus episode? Somebody said. Well, you acted your ass off when my hero in the fire.
Yes.
Moment.
Do you know, I saw somebody on Twitter put me going like Jackson and like putting my hands to my head, and then put it next to you when I'm getting my stomach cut open. Talk about, remember when Harriet was born? Yeah. There's a moment where you're like, when you're on the phone, you're like, save her,
oh shit, yes.
And you do the same thing, and they've
put no way.
both of them together. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Oh, I want to see that. I remember that. Oh my God.
That was crazy. I had panic attacks after that. I blacked out like 3 times, slightly, but during that cutting open and
on the table, with Ben.
That was nuts. Okay. Sarah, what were the easiest and most challenging parts of saying hello to April again? And Jesse, in what ways has Jackson grown throughout the years to lead him to this decision to leave Seattle? And to what extent were you involved in developing the story?
You go first.
Easiest and most challenging parts of saying, well, the easiest was knowing that I was coming back to primarily just do an episode with Jesse. I knew that I wanted to do that. I always wanted them to have more closure and some sort of, I wanted to be there for him in his last episode. Like, that just made sense to me in every way. So it would have been very hard for me to say no to that. And challenging, it's challenging just to step back into it after 3 years of really kind of moving beyond and moving past and going on to other things. After having, it was hard for me to say goodbye to her 3 years ago. It was emotional and challenging for sure. So to kind of open myself up to feeling all those things again.
Yeah.
It was definitely that part of it was challenging, but then it was immediately easy because I got to work with this Joker.
What was my question?
In what ways has Jackson grown throughout the years to lead him to this decision to leave Seattle? And to what extent were you involved in developing the story?
Well, he's grown in that he's, it's one thing to, you got to know something exists before you can acknowledge it. So him kind of acknowledging that he is damaged, you know, as he said, he has been, his relationships have been impacted. He has been negatively impacted by this gaping wound around abandonment. And how do you process that? And then what is the source of that? Do I have the temerity to face it, or go drive and go address it, or go to mom and go ask her and demand a response? You know, all those things are really big steps. We've all had, you know, conversations in our head with confrontational conversations with our head with people that affect our lives that we've never quite, you know, you never quite got it out though. You never, you know, or you still haven't, but you should and you will.
Or you won't because you're too afraid
or you won't,
to.
Or you won't. Absolutely. Yeah. The amount of God that, yeah, come on. So that's really relatable. And yeah, I definitely had influence. We collaborated big time. By the way, shout out to the writers of the episode, Felicia Pride and Elizabeth Finch, known to us as Finchy. And of course, Krista Vernoff, our showrunner, who, you know, touches affects everything the light touches, in a beautiful way. And this was a lot. This was a very emotional process, a bittersweet process, right? There's satisfaction in it. There's terrible fear in it. There's anxiety in it, all those things. So it's really hard to, you're excited, but you're devastated. You're sad, but you're really happy. You're really pleased to be able to articulate something new that, you know, a lot of people can relate to and just can't find the words for. But it, like I said, it really was painful. This was a really emotionally painful experience for me. It was not emotionally fun or happy. Intellectually, I was overjoyed to be able to work with you and be able to be there. We were happy about that, but it takes a toll. So it was all those things. And luckily, we work in a place where the people, all of this stuff starts. We don't have a show without the writers. We don't have anything without an idea on the page and somebody who knows how to communicate that. And luckily, they're so generous, and we're able to really collaborate and build together and disagree and enlighten each other. And I hadn't thought about it that way. Oh, that's true. I was, you know, maybe that was from ego, that I was actually thinking I should do it this way. But the truth of it could be this. And so being able to really be patient with each other and learn, it's pretty awesome. And one of the many things I will forever cherish about the process. And being responsive to the truth of that, like, the only person that really knows that he can talk to is needs to return, that we've seen on camera. Like we can, you know, I think off camera, Jackson has a real understanding with Meredith as well. But we've seen us really live it out. So let's go back to the source to really get the truth from both of them and some closure. And look, it worked. It's working. People feel seen and heard and validated, and like they can understand. It's a pretty big deal for a lot.
Can't hear you. Oh, now I can.
Oh, it was because I got a call. I'm very popular. I get a lot of phone calls. And
I haven't gotten a single call, you know, during this.
These, you know, the fans that we're all talking to right now, y'all are from, you know, 240 different territories around the world, hundreds of different countries. You all have different cultural nuances and habits, and somehow what we're creating touches you all in a certain way. So that's something that we should be. I am proud of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am too. I actually texted Krista last night just to say that I'm so pleased. Y'all, I called Jesse actually last night after watching it, bawling. Just so proud to have been a part of this, so proud to be your friend, to see all of the beautiful things that you have brought into this role and to get to walk out with you on your exit. It was so sweet. So I texted Kristen. I was just like, I'm so glad I said yes. Thank you so much for bringing me back. This was so special. So
yeah. Well, I will also say, just as we come to a close on this, that like, you know, it feels, you know, like the end of an era, end of things, but we also have, it's hard to process it all right now. You know,
yeah.
like I admit that like I don't have all complete thoughts and understanding because it's all just happening in real time. You know, I think that in a week or whatever, when we have the Jackson farewell episode, which I think I anticipate will still be very tied to this relationship, maybe I'll come back on and share some more farewell thoughts and have a a moment to pull out, you know, and zoom out, I should say, and get a sense of time and space and how I feel. So it's not, my point is that we'll talk again soon and keep processing this stuff together. And, you know, on behalf of both of us, and we'll say this in other forms and fashions also, but to y'all as fans, this doesn't happen without you. It just simply doesn't happen without you. You guys are directly involved in the magic that has been created and is being created. So we think of you, we consider you, we love and respect and are so grateful for you.
Yes.
There is, you know, it's not us and then the fans. Like, y'all are part of the sauce the whole time. And your passion makes a really big difference. So we love that.
We love you guys.
All
All right, my friends.
Until next time.
Until next time.
We did good.
Yes.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.